Hello comrades, today we're playing a game called Invisible by Ruiting or at Ducky Ryu. I apologize if that's not how you pronounce your name, Ruiting. This game is from itch.io. A lot of our recent games have been from Steam, but if you remember some of our older videos like Romance Detective, we've mentioned itch.io before. It's an online collection of independent games, independently created games, that you can play on your computer. And this one has caught our eye because it's about homelessness. So I'm interested to see... Oh, and it's also got quite some positive ratings. So for those two things, I'm interested in seeing what it throws at us. So let's give it a shot. You are homeless, lost, alone, with no money left. Those people are just lazy. They just need to get a job, they said. You used to think. You have to do something. You have to prove that you are better. You need to change your future. That's exactly how my stomach sounds. You are so hungry, but there is no time to dwell on that. It's time for action. You don't know much about the city. However, you can speak English and still have all your limbs. How hard can it be to find a job? You can try to find a job in the field you previously worked in. Find a resource center. Test your luck with convenience stores and small restaurants near you. Okay, so... Wait, this is interesting because I'm unemployed right now. But I live in a city, so if luck wasn't my way, and I couldn't find a job in the next few, what would I do? I think I'd go to a resource center, because I don't know if this character, I don't know the background of this character, but I assume if you haven't found a job in your field so far to the point where you're homeless, it makes me wonder what's happening in that field. Maybe there's just too much competition. And the convenience stores and small restaurants are kind of like 50-50 on whether you, more like 75-25 on whether or not you're actually going to find something. But what I know about those jobs from my friends who have been taking them is that it's very hard to get one. They don't pay very well. And for mostly they don't pay very well. And they are very time consuming and energy consuming. So then at the end of the day, if you want to, at the same time you're working here to make ends meet, apply to other things that are more what you would like to do and would give you more of more stability, it's hard to do that because you're so tired at the end of the day. So I'm going to try Resource Center because they've probably spent a lot of time trying to pull together information like this, and I feel like they might have had better luck than me. Alright, well, you have no idea where the closest resource center is located. You have no one to ask for help and don't know where to start. Okay. So what I probably would do here is I would go to the public library and Google up where the resource center is. But I'm going to assume then what it means is that that's not an option. So try to find a job in the field you previously worked in. Let's give it a shot, because I suspect this was going to happen. You realize that you do not know where to go or how to find a company in the field you used to work in. Even if you did know, you figure that you have no way of getting there without a bus pass. Okay, they did say that you were in a new city. I feel like what you need is information. There's ways to get information. Well, let's test our luck at convenience stores. Hi, are you hiring? They're not gonna like the fact that we just... No, sorry. But we are full on staff. But You eventually get used to the alarmed look on the cashier's face. You eventually mute the worried glances and hushed voices. But the sign in front of their store still bothers you because it says, "Now hiring. We are looking to add new members to our team. For more information, call." Yeah, but it's as you say, when you first come in, first of all, the cashier's not expecting you to not be a customer. And then depending on, they'll make assumptions about whether or not you would be someone they want to work with. And so if they're not the manager, I don't know. Even the managers too. I kind of feel this. I know, I feel like this does happen. That people just assume that they wouldn't want to work with you based on how you look. You walk into a family restaurant, and immediately a waiter comes towards you. In a low and pressing tone, he says to you, "On ne peut pas vous servir." I don't know if you can tell, but I cannot read. Vous, so this is a Latin language, but I don't. And servir is I know that from Spanish and other related languages like Italian, but I can't quite remember which one this is. Probably seeing your confusion, he adds, "We can't serve you here. Please leave." Oh, so I didn't even get to ask. They just said that they can't serve me? Probably because I look like I don't have money. And any other time, you would have yelled angrily at him to defend yourself. Hunger must be playing with your mind because looking down at your hands and clothes, you somehow understand why they won't serve you. You do look horrible. I wonder about that. I guess what the game is arguing that when you've been unemployed for long enough, you start to internalize the reasons that people give for why you're unemployed. Which is interesting because I've been unemployed for, right now it's January, so it's January, December, November, October, September, August, July, June, May, 8 months now I've been unemployed, that I've just been doing like volunteer work and whatever I can to make money. So I wonder if the author would argue that the reason I'm expecting these outcomes and not getting shocked or outraged by them is because I've been like this for so long. But I'm not even homeless. So I wonder, I hope the author, I should send this video to the author and see what they have to say. Leave it in the comment section if you're listening. Roitingji, put it in. Ducky Ryu. Am I right with what you're trying to say here? And are you trying to say that happens after a certain point of destitution? Like after you're homeless, you start to internalize it? Or is this a gradual thing that happens? I'd be curious. So I can do something else, or I can try again. So the question is, if I try again, am I going to get in trouble? Are they going to perceive it as aggression? And any other time you would have yelled angrily at him to defend yourself. He's not. I'm going to do something else. You decide that you should satisfy your hunger. You need some change to buy food. Panhandle. Oh, it's giving up on... Oh, I thought we were just going to go to another place. Alright, well, too late for that. Write a cardboard sign and wait. Or panhandle beg. So in the city that I'm in, it's illegal to panhandle. And nobody really... Not nobody, but most people won't call the cops on you if you're panhandling. Unless they feel... Well, so it's not panhandling in general, it's aggressive panhandling that you're not allowed to do. But aggressive is a very subjective term, so very few people know that they can call the cops, but the ones that do know to call the cops won't call it on you unless they feel like you're panhandling aggressively. And so, it's funny, it's always funny what people think is aggressive. I'm gonna write a cardboard sign and wait. After digging into the recycling bin, you find an unsoiled cardboard. Your own hands and coat are dirty and reek of spoiled food. Who threw a pizza box in there? But you have nowhere to go to clean yourself up. And so, this is ironic, because I know that my go-to is you've got to be clean. People treat you so poorly if you're not clean. Like, if you're not dressed well and you're not showering. That's why it's a lot easier to get through unemployment if you have at least a little bit of money, because then you could go to a place like the YMCA and take a shower, or if you have friends who will let you take a shower before an interview or something. This sucks. I've got like nothing here. You write, homeless and hungry, anything helps. God bless you. Lost job, hungry. Ninja killed my family, need money for revenge. Alright, so it's not B, because it doesn't appeal to emotion. It's just stating the facts. And people will always, if they're already in the mindset not to give me something, which is nobody's in the mindset when they're walking down the street to give money. So by default, they're in the mindset of not giving money. They're just going to come up with a reason. They're going to say, lost job? Well, there's lots of people with lost jobs. And hungry? Well, there's lots of people who are hungry. Go get a job. And I know that from the beginning that that's the culture that I'm in. So not B. This might be funny. Like, some people will give money to stuff like this. I've seen that. What I like about this... So the thing that I like about this is that it seems so sincere, and there's the God bless you, so there's appreciation, so it appeals to emotion, but that depends on how many other homeless people there are in the street, because this is a very common appeal. And so, I mean, it's a very common appeal, and so people start getting used to it, and it doesn't have the same impact on them anymore, and they start to glaze over. And if you're not one of the first people they see in their lives with this kind of appeal, it just goes over their head. The issue with C is that even though it's funny, some people might, if they have a negative association with this kind of humor, like if they might think you're a wise guy or a smart aleck, and they don't take you as seriously. Again, if you are on the same street or in the same city as other homeless people who are appealing to emotion, they'll feel like you're pretty disrespectful. What do I do? Homeless and hungry, anything helps. God bless you. Ninja killed my family. Need $1 for revenge. Probably what I would do if I was homeless is I would stretch goal it. Like, I would show how much money you could give and what I would do with that money. The issue is that you can't adjust it with a cardboard. I'm very fortunate where I have a white erase board, and I probably will never get rid of my white erase board for this reason. Yeah, but say like, this much money gets me into the YMCA so I can take a shower. So this much money, shower. This much money, dinner. And then people will know what it goes to, and that seems to help with donations. Oh, what to do? Let's try the funny thing. A lot of people are taking the metro today. Why do you feel so invisible? I know exactly why you feel invisible. Because people are not making eye contact with you deliberately. Because they don't want to feel obligated to acknowledge the fact that they aren't helping you. So that's why you feel invisible, because people are not looking at you. And before you were homeless, even though you didn't recognize it consciously, you were used to people at least looking at you and acknowledging your presence. And so you feel the shift. I'm waiting. But is any one of them reading your sign? Probably when you're not making eye contact with them. How embarrassing. It's not embarrassing because, I mean, it feels embarrassing, but it's not an embarrassing act because things that are embarrassing are shameful things, and there is no shame in your situation. Do something else. Wait, no, you gotta commit. Is no one approaching you because you smell bad? To be honest, what I would have come to my head is no one approaching you because of how you look, because you look dirty. Because I don't think people are, I mean, after a while, yeah, you start to smell the people on the subway if they've been there for quite some time. But you can see someone, like I've seen it, you'll see a homeless person all the way down the hall, and just by the look of them and the fact that they're not moving in the subway is like one of the key signs that this person is not someone who's having a good time. So it's the fact that you're not moving and the fact that you look homeless. And then when they get closer, it's your smell. So I probably would have worried first about how I look. But I can see where after enough time, you start to worry about the smell too. Nope. Keep going. Huh? The woman bending down to give you a few coins startles you. She gives you a tight-lipped, almost apologetic smile. You want to tell her that it's okay, it's not her fault, but all you manage to say is, thank you. Oh, maybe you should keep waiting. You have waited for a long morning, and you are emotionally exhausted. Despite not wanting to feel this way, you end up thinking that maybe, just maybe, this is what you deserve. You manage to earn $3.71. So my immediate instinct is go to a place that sells $1.25 pizza and get some food. It's not going to help with the emotional exhaustion, and this is something that's going to burn me out in the long run doing this, so this is not a viable strategy for getting on my feet. But at least I wouldn't be hungry. I would also wonder, again, Ducky Ryu, looking at you, is part of your message that it's always easier to think of what you would do if you were unemployed when you're not unemployed, because when you're unemployed, you're in a physical state where you don't come up with the same creative solutions? Because like I keep thinking of things that I would do, like this 371. I keep thinking of the pizza. But again, this is not a city that my character is familiar with, so maybe they don't know that that's an option, and maybe they're so hungry and so tired that they're not even able to come up with that in their head like I can from the comfort of this computer desk. So I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Oh, and now it's raining. To escape the rain, you decide to stop what you were doing and to head indoors to buy food. Both a fast food restaurant and a supermarket are within your walking limit. You decide to go to okay, so what's gonna have food that costs less than $3.71 with tax? I mean, it depends on the fast food restaurant, right? I bet the supermarket's not gonna have food because it depends on the supermarket. I know that different neighborhoods will have different price ranges of products. And I feel like you could get something at the supermarket for less than $3.71. But something that doesn't require a microwave or an oven to make, so no canned goods, narrows it down to something like potato chips. Or you could probably afford some fruit, but it's not going to be enough for how hungry you are. The fast food restaurants, like if you're thinking about like takeout Chinese food, those servings are so big, but then it usually costs more than $3.71. I'm gonna go to the fast food restaurant. Although unhealthy, fast food is your best choice because it is cheap and quick to eat. Yep. There is nothing called budgeting when you are homeless. It is the best lunch you have had in a while. You end up buying 2 extra burgers for supper. It is now late afternoon. It is not raining anymore. You are tired and feel quite lightheaded. Maybe if you lie down and rest a little, you will feel better. You choose a bench in a rather deserted park to lie down, knowing in back of your mind that you need to keep a low profile to avoid trouble. Yep, that's what I was saying earlier. One of the worst aspects of being homeless, aside from the physical and emotional exhaustion of it, and the fact that you internalize the causes of your condition that other people give you, is that people will just assume based off your looks that you're up to no good. It's cold and wet, but you can live with that. Oh, doze off. It sucks that it's that kind of season. Hey, oh man, I got in trouble. Used coat and a faint smell of alcohol. Oh, it's his bench. The man who woke you up is likely homeless just like you. In fact, you have probably been sleeping on his usual bench. Yeah, absolutely have. Oh god, is he mad at you? Okay. Usually, I would do both. I would apologize and try to leave immediately. But I also know that the reason I'm trying to get away from this guy is the same reasons that people won't help me, which is that I am assuming that he's going to be irritable, which is not a wrong assumption, because he can't be having a good time, and I know from experience as this character that this is emotionally exhausting, so he might not be ready to reason with me, but I can give it a shot. Sorry, you are new to the area, aren't you? The question is friendly and understanding. Yes! As you nod to answer, the stranger takes a seat next to you. It's fine, man. I know how it feels. Hate to break it to you, but it doesn't get much easier. Hey, I can show you around here, though. He is chuckling at your general lack of reaction. Hey, I'm not going to mug you. You probably don't have anything valuable anyways. Yeah. Alright. At Ducky Ryu. And my audience, I'd love to hear your response to these questions that I'm lobbying at the author, at the developer, as well in the comment section. But at Ducky Ryu, what I'm understanding here is that even homeless people have the same biases against homeless people as non-homeless people, because there was the option to run away and just that your default reaction is just, this person is going to be upset with me. Even though he was smiling and there really was no reason to think that. I mean, there are reasons to think that, but they're not foolproof conclusions from the information that we have, because we don't have much information. I don't know. I'm ranting. I realize I'm spending way too much time on each of these choices. I'm gonna move forward. The corners of your mouth turn up slightly. Looking at the stranger, you realize that he must be younger than he looks. He is friendly, and you can't help but to feel more comfortable around him. To let you rest, the stranger moves to the bench opposite you. Before lying back down, the stranger says, "Oh, meet Ruby, and call me Spike." Huh? Oh no! To your relief, you open your eyes and see a man in uniform with a badge on the sleeve saying Police Montreal. Oh! It's Canada. So I wonder if the language before was French. Like, are we in Quebec or something? Is Quebec? Well, I don't know if Quebec... Well, who knows? I was gonna say, I wonder if Quebec gets this cold, but I bet it does. I bet it does get this cold. Cops are friends, you reason. They protect and serve, after all. Nope, they are people. And this guy could be someone who points you to a resource center, but he could easily be a guy who's just frustrated that he has to do this right now because it's cold, and why are you doing this anyway? Why are you just on this bench? The police officer is saying something in French that you can't understand. He sounds impatient. He then shoves a piece of paper into your chest. It's a fine. Nope, because you don't even know my identity. The officer is long gone when you finally look down at your fine. $144 for usage incorrect deinstallation. That would be my partner interrupting. I should put my phone on vibrate. For usage incorrect d'installation publique. Yeah, that sounds... Okay. How does he do this, though? He doesn't know my identity. How is he going to associate that with me in court records? Is the cop expecting you to pay this amount when you barely have enough money to buy food? This is plain ridiculous. I'd actually be interested. How do cops enforce fines like that among homeless people? If you don't have their ID. I know a lot of homeless people just don't have their IDs with them anymore. Like, it's not that they thought it wasn't important. It's just something that they misplace moving from place to place. And it's something that you often don't think of as being really important because you're so used to not thinking about it and not having anyone ask you for your ID. Anyway, yet on the other bench, you hear Spike sigh and murmur something about being lucky this time. You must be dreaming. Push yourself to wake up. You are not dreaming. Spike tells you that he has encountered far worse agents of control and mentions that he has seen many being threatened or physically harassed. That was kind of what I was expecting. To make a point, he takes out from his pocket fines he has received. A fine says, wandering aimlessly on the streets. Another states, stepping on the grass. Another says, having thrown paper on the ground. Spike tells you with a laugh that he said paper is in fact another fine he received. Those add up to thousands of dollars. You don't know what to say, so you offer him some of your food, and the two of you munch on until it is starting to get dark. Spike tells you that nighttime is dangerous for a homeless person, but offers no explanation as to why. In any case, you have to move to somewhere safer before you receive another ticket for unlawful stay in a park after closing. You have two options. Follow Spike to his usual hideout and sleep rough. Go to the nearest shelter to pass the night. Spike can show you the way, but will not go in with you since dogs are not allowed in shelters. Alright, so the shelter would be a better place to go, but only if they have occupancy, like only if they have space. Like you could get to the shelter, wait online, and just never get in because there's so many people waiting there. If I go with Spike, it's definitely going to be a bad night. It's going to be more emotionally and physically exhausting than the shelter. But at least I will have someone with me. But the question will be, is his usual hideout some kind of like camp? I don't know if you guys know this, but in some places, homeless people will, like, word gets around that there's a certain area that's not being policed or regulated, and they will build, a lot of homeless people will go to the same area, and it kind of builds like a makeshift town of homeless people. And whether it's a safe or unsafe place really depends on just how the town evolves. Sometimes it can be a place where there's a lot of drugs or aggression, especially if some of the homeless in your city are homeless because of mental disorders, or not because of mental disorders, but at least happen to have mental disorders. And in other times, they can be great support communities. And sometimes they're both. Just like any other town, like there's pockets of constructive and unconstructive groups of people. I'm gonna try following Spike. I want to see what's happening there. You decide to trust Spike and go with him. He leads you to a rather isolated tunnel that will protect you against the wind. Alright, wait. As you approach the tunnel, you can hear laughter and chatter. You meet Spike's friends, all smiling, all coping with their situation in their own ways. Some take drugs to give themselves a routine, others chat all day long to chase away the boredom. Yeah, this is what I was thinking. And this could do wonders for you in this situation. The ground is hard and cold, and you find yourself tossing and turning all night trying to get some rest. And so, scared and tired, invisible to the world, you set to survive yet another day. Congratulations, you have survived today. Over 235,000 Canadians experience homelessness in a year. You can change that. It's based on real events. That's interesting. I didn't know it was based on real events. That would actually explain some of the details that are in there if it's based on real events. The insight there. I wonder, is it real at Ducky Ryu? Is it real events that you experienced or real events from people that you've interviewed? And did you interview them for this project or do you just know them? You know, like, do you work for one of these organizations down there? I'd be interested in the making of this game, is what I'm saying. I would like to know what went into deciding what conflicts popped up in the game. I liked it. I bet you can tell because I was commenting so much at every step, but I liked it. I saw that there's multiple endings, so probably on my own time I'm going to go back and see what the other endings are. But I'm not going to do it here on Dizzi because I would like my audience, my comrades, to go to itch.io. The link is in the info box underneath this video on YouTube. Or if you're watching it from our website, www.tellitsimply.com/Dizzi, it's in the blog post. The link is there. Go play the game and see if you can find another ending. And let me know what you think of the game and the endings and answer some of the questions that I've thrown at the developer. I don't know how to feel. It's a little anxiety inducing because I am unemployed as well. And I don't think I will be homeless anytime soon because I'm lucky that I have a family and a partner who's willing to house me, but it's something that could happen. It'd be pretty easy. So that's it for today. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next itch.io game. Bye, comrades.